Good morning. How's everybody? Of course, it's morning time here. It might be evening or late afternoon wherever you are. Hey, Shauna, Libra, and Rebel. Hey, how you doing? Good to see everyone today over there on Extraordinary Women Influencers. That's my Facebook group. If you all haven't joined yet, please do. Extraordinary Women Influencers on Facebook. I go on there on a regular basis and teach and share information. And then on Fridays, you have a chance to talk about your business. And hello, Libra again. Happy Wednesday to you, Tangerine, Stephanie. Thank you so much. I'm glad you're here. How's everybody on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn? Dr. Pierre, how you doing? Oh, thank you. Ooh, thank you very much. Dr. Pierre says I'm looking fabulous. Well, I'm feeling good. I got that energy. And I got that energy because I'm getting ready tomorrow night to have this fabulous workshop about, in case you lost or stuck or not too sure about what's next, if you're in retirement or getting ready to be, hey, you want to find out your purpose. I got this workshop going on tomorrow night, so we'll talk about that. But I really want to talk today about finding your purpose, whether in your 50s, your 60s. Hey, Stacy, how you doing? Thanks for joining. How's the weather where you all are? It's sticky here. It's going to be in the 90s, and the humidity is going to be almost that high. If it's just the warm weather, that's one thing. But when you throw that humidity in, that's really the thing that gets us. So I want to share with you that this has been a summer of celebrating birthdays. Just last night, I was with my oldest daughter, and we were celebrating her birthday. So wonderful. And I reminded her that I was there. I was the only person there when she was born. Okay, with her that moment. That's a good thing. And so we had a great time. And then last week, my youngest grandchildren, my twins, they celebrated 3 years. Oh my gosh, many of you who were with me during, 3 years ago, during that time, you remember they were born, they were so tiny, you could hold them in the hands. They were born early, but now I can't even pick them up. They are thriving. And, that's a beautiful thing in life, isn't it? When you can see your children and your grandchildren and just young people. Hey, Lupe. Hey, Mary. Hey, Shirley, Apple, all of you. Deborah, how are you? Thanks for joining. I'm so glad you all are with me. So this has been like that summer of celebration and birthday, and it's just been so much fun. I've just enjoyed it, and I hope each and every one of you are enjoying your summer. And I'm glad you're here with me because this is a topic, purpose that is particularly significant for us in our 50s, 60s, or 70s. I'm in my mid 70s, and this whole question of purpose is one that is so significant, so important, and so many women ask me about it. So I wanted to spend some time just talking about that. And I want you to know, well, let's be real. Nobody warned you about this part. You can check every box, hang every award, have the corner office, have an impressive resume, and still wake up thinking, is this it? I'm talking about that moment when you're looking around at what you've built, and instead of satisfaction, you feel nothing, maybe even dread. And then the questions start. What's my purpose now? What's the point of this? If that's you, listen up, because I'm about to tell you something that might surprise you. Finding your purpose after 50, it's actually easier than you think. I know that sounds wild when you might be feeling lost, but here's what I've learned after helping lots of successful women figure this out. You're not lost. You're just ready for something bigger. Okay. And by the time we're done today, you'll understand why this confusion you're feeling is actually a good sign. And you'll walk away with 3 truths that will help you stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward. And we'll have time for Q&A or any comments at the end. And if you're going to want a step-by-step roadmap for turning this into your next chapter, I'll tell you more about my Finding Direction After 50 workshop later on in this video. So thank you all from TikTok and IG. I know IG is in the house, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, wherever you are. Thanks for joining. And so I want to tell you something that might shock you. That restless feeling, that what's the point question rattling around in your head, it's not a problem. It's your brain doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Think about it. You've spent decades focusing on one thing, proving yourself, getting ahead, building something, checking the boxes, and you did it. You won. But now you're asking different questions. Instead of, how do I succeed? You're asking, well, how do I matter? Instead of, how do I get ahead? You're wondering, what actually fulfills me? Most people think that this shift means something's wrong with you. Well, I'm here to tell you it means something's right. You've graduated from needing that external validation to going for internal alignment. This is not a crisis. This is an evolution. And the women who come to me feeling this way, they're not broken. They're the smartest ones in the room. They're the ones brave enough to admit that success without meaning feels hollow. Now, I want you to know, I know this feeling because I lived it. In my 50s, I was at the top of my game, running a national organization, respected everywhere I went. I worked 25 years to get there, and I felt restless as hell. I couldn't shake this thought. Is this it? Is this really all I'm going to do with the rest of my life? I wanted something that actually mattered more to me. But every time I tried to figure it out what it was, I really felt overwhelmed. I worried I'd have to throw everything I'd built and start from zero. And I didn't want to do that. That's when I discovered something that changed everything. And it starts with this first truth. Truth number 1, you already have the raw material for your purpose. Here's the thing. Your purpose isn't hiding out in some faraway place. You already have the raw material for it. You've spent years building something. Maybe you've run companies or nonprofits. Maybe you've built a business from scratch or led community initiatives that change lives. You've seen organizations rise and fall. You've watched leaders succeed and crash. You've been through funding crises, board drama, economic downturns, and every kind of challenge, including kids, there is. So when a problem shows up now, you don't need to panic. You've seen this movie before. You know which solutions actually work and which ones just sound good in meetings. You can spot trouble coming from 3 miles away. And that 30-year-old who has energy and ambition, good for them. But you have something they can't buy or learn from a book: pattern recognition. Yes, you've seen, you've been through enough cycles to see the patterns and to see what really matters. I think about the nonprofit director who I worked with, who spent 15 years turning around failing organizations, or the entrepreneur who built 3 businesses and knows exactly why 2 of them didn't work, or that community leader who can just walk into any room and immediately see who has real influence and who just talks out loud. So, see, that's the kind of experience you've got. That's the kind of influence you have. And it's not just sitting on your resume. That's raw material for whatever comes next. You don't need to throw away your years of learning to find your purpose. You need to figure out where to use all that wisdom next. So just as a quick side note, if if this is resonating with you and you're there actually saying, "Ooh, I'd like to figure this out and I want to map out my next chapter," that's exactly what we're going to do in my Finding Direction After 50 workshop. It's tomorrow night. It's $47, 90 minutes, live on Zoom, virtual, and you get the replay for 7 days. I'll give you the link and more details at the end, but I just wanted you to know now so you can go grab your spot while you're thinking about it. And you over on TikTok or Extraordinary Women Influences, look at influencers, look at my profile, the link is there. But when we think about the most accomplished women who get stuck, here is where it is. And it's really not what you think. That leads us to truth number 2. You don't need to start over. You need to stop settling. Let me say it plain. You don't need to blow up your life and start from scratch. You need to stop settling for things that don't fit who you've become. I felt this again in my late 60s. I had already made one big change years earlier, but there I was feeling that same pull for something more. I wanted bigger impact, but I also wanted more freedom in how I worked and who I worked with. That's when I started my own business, late 60s, not because I had it all figured out, because I didn't, but because I knew exactly what I was done with. Okay, here's something we don't think about much. I knew what I was done with someone else setting my schedule, done with the meetings that went nowhere, done with playing politics to get simple things accomplished. Here's what your 30-year-old self didn't have: a long list of what doesn't work for you anymore. You've climbed that corporate ladder, went to the top of your organization. You've done the people pleasing thing. You've worked for difficult bosses and impossible deadlines. So when you're thinking about what's next, you're not staring or starting with a blank slate. You're starting with 30 years of, I'll never do that again, or I know that doesn't work. And, that kind of experience isn't a disadvantage. That's a head start. It's not a disadvantage. It's a head start. So I had a client who ran her own consulting firm for about 12 years, made good money, had great clients, looked successful on paper. But when she came to me, she was exhausted. She said, "Dr. Geneva, I'm just tired of chasing people who don't value what I do." I told her she didn't need to start over. She needed to stop taking clients who treated her like she was desperate for their business. 6 months later, she had fewer clients, but was making more money working with people who actually respected her expertise. That's what happens when you use what you know about what doesn't work. And that's the gift of this stage of life. You've lived long enough to know what's worth your time and what's not. And that lets you move towards your purpose even better and more than your younger self could have. And I want you to know, if you miss this last truth, the other two I just talked about won't matter. This one's the game changer. And that is, purpose changes with you, and that's a good thing. Your purpose is allowed to change because so are you. That's not you being flaky. That's you being alive and vibrant. I learned this in one of the hardest seasons of my life. Within a short time, I lost my husband and my parents. And one night I was reading the obituaries and I noticed that little line between the dates, that line, that horizontal stroke, the dash. And it hit me. That dash is my life. It's the life of the people that I love, the people whose obituaries I was looking at. Everything between the day you're born and the day you leave here. And that's what that horizontal stroke represents. And in that moment, I realized my purpose wasn't just about the work or the titles. It really was about how I wanted to live that dash. And what I wanted in my 70s was different from what I wanted in my 50s. And that's okay. Purpose isn't one big thing you find once and keep forever. It's something you shape for the season you're in. It grows right alongside you. So maybe you started this conversation we've had feeling confused about your purpose, thinking you'd have to start over from scratch. But now you know 3 truths. You already have the raw material for your purpose. You don't need to start over. You need to stop settling. Your purpose is allowed to change as you do. And as you move through life, purpose changes, it evolves, and that's okay. You have everything you need, and that's what makes it easier for you to find your purpose in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So those truths, all of that makes it easier. Now, the challenge is planning how to use it. Okay. Once you found it, how are you going to use it? And I invite you to come do that planning with me. Come on, join me tomorrow night, which is Thursday, August the 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern for Finding Direction After 50. This workshop, we're going to map out exactly how to turn everything you've learned into something that actually fulfills you. 90 minutes on Zoom, replay for 7 days. You'll walk away with a plan you can actually use, not just more someday ideas. The link is in the description. We've got a QR code up here. Come on, let's do this planning together. Let's figure out what those next steps are, what your purpose is, and in 90 minutes. Okay? It's really a great value for you to come and spend some time with me so that we can do this planning together. I hope you'll join me tomorrow night, Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you found value in this conversation of, and have learned that finding purpose in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond is really easier for you now that you've hit this more than half a century lifetime that you're in. You have everything that you need to find that purpose and to continue to live that vibrant life where you can look good, feel good, and do good. I appreciate you listening for the lesson today. Let's see if we've got some questions or comments. Oh, welcome on IG, 1027 No Name, Samara, ENO Life for You. Thank you so much for joining. Delighted that you're here. Hey, Chris, good to see you too. Dr. Trend said good morning to you earlier. Thank you so much. Yes, them August babies I got. Yeah, grandchildren, it's a beautiful thing about them grandchildren. Oftentimes I wish I could jump from me to right to grands because we love them, don't we? So, okay. All right. So we've got just one or two questions. Well, one is, okay, this is one I get often. How do I make sense of my life when it feels all over the place? Well, I need to tell you first up, so let me repeat it for our TikTok and Extraordinary Women community. Gazelia, how are you? Oh, welcome. How you doing? Crystal and all of you over on TikTok, good to see you again. The question is, how do I make sense of my life when it feels all over the place? And I want to tell you that the feeling all over the place, overwhelmed, perhaps kind of lost, restless, stuck, that's part of this midlife. Okay. So I want you to understand that this is natural and normal. And then if you throw perimenopause or menopause in there, that's some natural fog coming in. Okay. So this overwhelmed feeling, confused, kind of out of body experiences that every woman over the age of 50 feels, you're not alone. So that's first of all. Second, so I want you to take a deep breath. So I tell you that so you can take a deep breath, okay, about this feeling all over the place. That's one. Second, yes, it's important to begin to get clarity in what you're doing, to get clear about things, to figure out, okay, so what do I want to do with my life? Where have I gotten these experiences from that I can use? What are the things that are important to me now? What do my values look like now? What are the strengths that I have that I can carry forward? And so beginning that process of getting clear about what you have, your assets right now, the kinds of things that you might want to try. This whole process can bring that clarity to you when you're feeling all over the place. And then joining a group of like minded folk like us, like minded women who are also looking for that, is another thing you can do. All of this we cover in my workshop tomorrow night. So you might want to join if you're feeling, kind of overwhelmed. What am I going to do next? It's okay. Then the other thing I want to add that many coaches or experts in this area don't really give enough weight to is this finding joy. Okay. And so as you're going through this process of trying to go from overwhelm to clarity, from that stuck feeling to, hey, I think I got it together, or I can take the next steps. Keeping that joy in your life, which is about doing those things that make you happy. And so having that as part of your process is so critical to you going through the process. So I hope that's helpful. For more, come to my workshop. Yes, because I'm going to be teaching all of it. And if you can't make it Thursday, tomorrow night, still register, because if you register, you'll get the replay. Those who register will get the replay for 7 days. So other questions or comments? Hey, David on IG. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, the QR code, is it right there? Boy, there you go. That pointing. I can do that. See that pointing? That's the QR code there. Yeah. Karina, one of my team members, was saying it's on the other side, doctor, as I was pointing this way. She was saying it's on the other side. One of my friends said to me just yesterday, and I'll do a shout out to Pam Moore, my fabulous dance instructor. I am dancing. That's one of the things as I was creating, looking for purpose, after I lost my husband, my parents, I had to start over. And then I put this business together, and you talk about overwhelmed. Good gracious. I didn't know what I was doing, grieving, the whole bit. But one of the things as I'm really was pressing to find things that made me happy, made me joyful, dancing does. And so that's what I do now. Anyway, my dance instructor, Pam, commented, yeah, I saw your podcast the other day. Boy, you got all the things, all the tech, all the mics, talking to everybody, TikTok, IG, extraordinary women influencers on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Yeah, all the things. And I said, yep. And that's what I do to bring that vibrancy, to do the things I love, to share that information, to bring you value every single week. And, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and working with women who I coach and organizations that I consult with. This brings me joy. This part of my legacy, part of my mission. And so I'm so delighted. It's my honor that you're here and you come and you spend just a little bit of time with me on these Wednesdays and other days. So let me see. I'm getting the signal that our time has run out for questions. I just want to make sure that if there are any questions, Feminine Guru has joined us. Hey there, how you doing? Are you coming to the workshop tomorrow? I hope so. I always love when you in the room. Okay? I love when you in the room. Oh, we got a question from Chris. Karina, do you see that on YouTube? Yes. Okay. What'd she say? I'm going into, okay, I have to look at the right screen. Okay, stay with me. We got a question, another question coming in from Chris. I'm going into a new path, totally different from what I've done. How do I develop a strategy to get started? Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, congratulations. And that's the first step in the strategy, to acknowledge where you are now, where you've come from, and where you are now. Because taking that step is so key. And I'm sure there were some beliefs perhaps that kind of held you back or went through your mind as you were going on this path, but you changed your narrative. You changed your mindset about what you can do. And I feel the energy in your words and what you're doing. So this new path, totally different. Well, one of the things about totally different, it might be interesting to sit with yourself and figure out, well, yes, totally different. And that can be kind of overwhelming and scary and what have you. But you might want to look at, well, yes, it's a different path, but what things are the same? Because so often in life, we do see repeating patterns. And so, and this whole thing about transferable skills. So, whatever path you were on before, for example, and you were great at communicating and talking with others and listening, I'm sure wherever you're going next, that's a skill that will be very critical for your new path. So that skill is transferable. You can take it from one situation that you were in to another. So perhaps everything's not as totally different as we initially think. So spending some time to really assess that might be good, because oftentimes when we think about starting something absolutely brand new, it produces some anxiety. But then the next thing that I'm going to tell you is go do it. Congratulations, do it, because stepping out of your comfort zone into a new experience is life changing. And in developing the strategy for that, thinking about those things that are transferable, thinking about the end in mind. What is it that you want from this new experience? So imagine yourself 2 years down the road and you're in this new experience. What does it look like? And how do you feel? Oftentimes we can get that visual picture, that mental picture, which is good. We need that. I want you to visualize what you look like in this new path, what you want to look like. But I also want you to think about and imagine how you're feeling. So we want to have the head and the heart into visioning, thinking about, looking at the end in mind. So that's the other piece. Now, I know you'll be at my workshop tomorrow night, and a lot of what we'll do, what we'll put together, and the tools that I'll give you and the conversation we'll have will help you create your strategy. And then, of course, if you want to work with me even deeper, I have a 90-minute intensive one-on-one that I do, and I call it Let's Talk Strategy. And that's where I get deep down into with you. What's the strategy? What's the end? What are the actions that'll work? What are the tactics? And we actually map that out. Now, that's a one-on-one intensive. The workshop tomorrow night, it will be with a group of like-minded women, very intimate, small. I like to do these workshops in smaller numbers. But that Let's Talk strategy session, and you can go to my scheduling link if you're interested in that, or we can talk about that more tomorrow, Chris. Thank you for your question. Okay. All right. Now, so I think I'm getting the signal we done, that this is, we've run out of time. Yes, someone asked about my Let's Talk strategy link. Let's Talk strategy. The link is on the screen or in the comments. So thanks so much for being here. Let me just say, Lola Joy and all of you who are here, thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you all in the workshop tomorrow. Just go right now, sign up. There's the link. There's the QR code. That ain't a link. That's a QR code right up there. Right, Karina? There's the QR code right there. And yes, the other side. There you go. All right, y'all. I'll see you next time. Love you. See you next Wednesday. We're going to be talking more and more about reinvention and how reinvention, and you being a leader, how you can reinvent to get more exposure, go from invisible to influential, and really dig down into some reinvention strategies. So many of my clients and the women that I work with have been asking me to talk more and more about, hey, what's the guide to reinvention? What are the strategies I can use? How should I dress? What should I be thinking about? How do I reinvent? What are the steps that I take? Does that mean it's a complete new overhaul that I do for myself? Absolutely not. I'm going to say that right straight up, because you can do reinvention in pieces. You can do it any way you want to. You can create. That's the beauty of this age. You can create your own thing. So love you all. Remember to look good, feel good, and do good, and live that vibrant life. Love you. Bye-bye. Love you all.